So what is cross country? In this video, we're going to break it down. The cross country phase is to prove the speed, endurance, and jumping ability of the horse when it is well trained and conditioned. At the same time, it demonstrates the athlete's knowledge of pace and the use of their horse across the country. It consists of a course with obstacles carried out at an appropriate speed for the level. The competition grounds for cross country are usually in a big field with lots of rolling hills and terrain, and the horses will gallop across them and jump their obstacles. At bigger shows, normally there's quite a bit of atmosphere with tents around, and there's tailgating and food. The different obstacles on the cross country course can vary from simple logs to hedges. There's corners, tables, banks. There's obstacles into water and ditches. I think the water is a unique place to see the horses go. Sometimes they have the horses jumping into the water off of an obstacle or down a bank into the water. And it's certainly very interesting for the horses to go from one terrain to the next. They don't quite know how deep the water is or anything. And so that's just a trust exercise for us. The footing is on grass out in a big field, going uphill, downhill, and on flat ground. As an athlete on the cross-country course, I like to think about keeping a very similar pace and not wasting too much energy by going faster and slower often. I also like to be as accurate as possible to make it as easy as possible for the horses. I think the most challenging part of cross-country is the changes of terrain. You're constantly adjusting whether you're going downhill or uphill, and trying to warn the horses of that can be tricky. What I love about cross-country is galloping across the field and down to the jumps and having the trust in myself and my horse to answer the questions that are asked of us. So when we walk cross-country, there are different questions asked of us, some more technical than others. Some course designers like to put us on 1 or 2 strides, others on 4 or 5 strides between jumps. Obviously, we're in a big field and there's about 20 to 30 jumps that are in that field, and you have to memorize them in number order. So immediately after the cross country, there's a 10-minute vet box, and that's where we take their heart rate and temperature and make sure that everything is normal. And then we have buckets of ice, and we sponge them with cold water and keep them walking to get their heart rate and temperature down. And usually after about 10 minutes, they're set to go home. Our biggest thing for the horses is to prepare them for Sunday, which is show jumping, and we want them to feel their best and most comfortable for that class. For cross country, they need to be quite fit, so every 5 days they have a fitness day where we take them on a long trot set and do 3 sets of canter. It's very important for us as riders to walk the course and memorize it over the weekend so that we can have our horses best prepared for the questions, because they don't actually see any of the jumps or questions that are asked of us until they're galloping up to them at a certain speed. So for us to know exactly where the jumps are and what strides they are is our responsibility for the horses. So while I walk the cross-country course, it's really important for myself to remember the striding in between the jumps. If it's a 2-stride, horses have a 12-foot stride. Maybe they might set it a little bit short, so I know that I need to come in with a 10-foot stride rather than a 12-foot stride. And just to know that helps me give the horse a better ride throughout the course. The main difference in cross-country equipment is you'll see our boots here have a closed front, and they have a plate in the back of them to protect them from striking themselves. They also have bell boots here to protect their heels. We have a belly guard here to protect them from their studs that we put in their shoes. Also, my saddle has a little bit more of a forward flap, and so when I put my leg down, it's placed up here a little bit more for safety reasons. Phelps has a breastplate to keep the saddle in place. And we have a running martingale that's a little bit stretchy, and it just stabilizes the reins. And then for Phelps, he's got a figure-8 bridle, which just has different pressure points, and it keeps them from crossing their jaw. The safety equipment that is specific to cross-country is this hard vest, and this is required for us to wear. It's just a protector for our body. And then we have an air vest also that connects to the saddle here, and if you pull it, it blows up and it protects your neck and tailbone area and everything else. We also have a cross-country watch, because cross-country is a timed event, just to make sure that we are in the specific optimum time. And then for our helmets, we have a visor that can move just in case you take a little spill. It's just a little bit safer than having a hard visor on your helmet. The qualities we're looking for a good cross-country horse are stamina. You need them to stay fit through the longer distances. bravery so that they can tackle the water and all the obstacles on the cross-country course, and an independent mind so that when I make a mistake, they can be there to step in. If you want to learn more about eventing, go to uscf.org.